everyone. Welcome back to Cash Flow Confidence. So let me ask you a question. You have a business that's making money. You've got a bookkeeper. You've got a CPA. But why does it still feel like when it comes to your numbers and strategy, you're still guessing? In this episode, I'm going to shift the way that you view financial guidance because a big misconception is that CFO-level advisory work is only for big businesses, and that cannot be further from the truth. So we're going to dive into that in this episode because the truth is you could have, your accountant or your bookkeeper or your CPA on your team that's doing their job like they're supposed to, but you still feel totally in the dark about what to do next. And the problem that business owners face is that you're really limited on who you can talk to about these high-level questions because you can't go to your employees because obviously if they sense that trouble is afoot, they're just going to jump ship, right? You can't go to your friends because they may not understand. You can't go to your spouse because they're just sick and tired of hearing about it. So when you have questions about what right moves to make in your business or where all your cash is even going, who do you talk to? So if you've ever been given financial reports or looked at your numbers and thought, okay, great, but now what? Then this episode is for you. So here's the thing. Like I said, most people think CFO level support is just for huge companies with insane budgets. But in reality, it's small businesses just like yours that need strategic guidance even more because the way these big businesses got to where they are is because they had expert level financial strategy. And so when you're a small business, that's less room that you have for error. And so you're making these big decisions even faster. And every dollar that you have to make sure you're getting the best ROI from. So I get asked a lot, why can't my accountant or my CPA help me with this? Well, your bookkeeper or your CPA are there for compliance and to record what happened in the past. They're not the ones who you go to for that kind of strategic advisory. A CPA can give you tax strategy, but as far as like improving the actual health of your business, you're not going to find that in an accountant or a CPA, and that's a huge misconception. So your CFO comes into play to help you decide where is your business going to go. So if your business was like a car, you can think of your accountant or your CPA as the rear view mirror showing you where you've been, but you can think of a CFO as your windshield or your GPS system showing you where it is that you want to go and how you're going to get there. I had a client recently who, before they were my client, they were just a friend of mine and they had great books and she really liked her accountant, but she would call me like every other week asking, hey, can I afford to hire this person or should I buy this software? And it's not that she needed more information. I could give her numbers all day long on what this stuff is going to cost, but what she needed was actual interpretation and direction with big decisions like these that you as the business owner have to make at least on a weekly basis. And you want to make sure that when you're making these decisions, you're backing them up by real data and not just what you feel like doing at the time or what your gut says is a good idea or bad advice that you got from somebody else who has no idea what your business even looks like on the inside, right? So CFOs aren't meant to replace your accountant or your CPA. They're meant to take the information that your accountant has already prepared for you and turn those numbers into decisions for you. So never think that you're too small or too early or you don't make enough in revenue to need that kind of financial guidance. Like, for example, a pilot wouldn't wait until they're ready to fly a big 747 before they decide to have a flight plan. Like, they would get a flight plan even if all they had was a little Cessna. Otherwise, they would never take off, or if they did, it would just be a total disaster. So you need to have a plan like from the get-go on where you're going to go strategically. And the reason that CFO advisory helps so much with that is because sometimes you start a business and you don't know what you want it to look like 12 months from now or even 6 months from now because you haven't been in long enough to see what's going on. Or maybe you have been in it for so long that you're so caught up in the day-to-day things that you haven't taken the time to zoom out and say, what do I even want my revenue to be, months down the road or a year from now? And a CFO can start by helping you determine what those targets are. And then each month, tell you, okay, are you hitting your targets or are you not? If not, then what needs to be done about it, right? Not only that, but a good CFO can also help you with scenario modeling. What I mean is like when you have a decision you're trying to make, you don't know how it's going to impact your profitability or your bank account like when you're thinking about hiring or buying a new vehicle or subscribing to a new software, things like that. A CFO can show you in real time exactly what these different scenarios are going to look like today or even months down the road. And that kind of partnership just takes a huge mental load off of your plate. And so basically, what you need to remember is you're the CEO of your business. I don't care if you've been in business for a day, you're the CEO of that business, and you shouldn't be trying to navigate alone. And if you've just started out and you're thinking, well, yeah, but I don't feel like a real CEO, like I feel like I'm just doing all the things and just kind of taking it day by day, then you're wrong. You're a CEO who owns a business, and you need to make CEO level decisions using actual data and not just emotions or feelings or gut instincts. So let me ask you, do you have someone on your team right now that's helping you make these financial decisions, or are you still just relying on past data and hoping for the best? Because if you're the latter, then you need to reach out to me so we can talk and I can see if I can help you, because you deserve to feel proud and confident about your business, and that includes your numbers, and you need to be able to use your numbers to make confident decisions. All right, that's all I have for this week. See you guys.